Welcome back. We're picking up where we left off, but I'm going to add a couple of mods to the list from last time. I had 3 mods going in the last video. I've just added 2 more. The SiSL's trailer pack and USA and SiSL's route advisor. So, the trailer pack was recommended by Jordan Carter, the Mescalero 95, and I believe others as well. I just didn't get all the names. The other one, the Route Advisor mod, was recommended by Tassos13 and John Skip. So thanks for those recommendations. I did test these. I like them and probably just going to keep them. So those are ready to go. And we are ready to go. Oh, let me talk about a couple of things in options. So in the graphics area, one of the things I did to fix an issue that I was having was change my resolution. I had it at my native 2560 by 1440 because I have a widescreen, a large 4K monitor. I think it's a 4K monitor. Maybe it's a 2K. I don't know. 4K. Whatever. Anyway, when I brought it down to standard HD, I was able to keep my frame rates up. And that's the next thing I want to point out. Up here in the top left corner, I was able to enable, through Steam, I was able to enable the frames per second monitor. So that's always in the top left corner. And I'm running at 144 frames per second because of this particular monitor and my graphics card, etc. I do have some specs for all of this in the description of this video. So if you're curious about that, go ahead and check the description. I still have my scaling at 200%. I think I may have reduced it before, but I brought it back up. As long as I'm running at least 30 frames per second, I should be golden. All right, I don't think there's anything else to mention here. Gameplay since last time. I don't think so. Oh, I did make some adjustments. Again, recommendations I got from some of you to adjust the stability. I can bring this down a little bit. I really haven't noticed much change. I'm going to bring this down some more. So that's about 15 or 20%. So we'll see how the truck rides with that. And I think that's it. Let's hop in the game. It's early. Something I wanted to mention before we hop back into this, I'm going to make an announcement at the end of this video about something that's coming up. So stay tuned. All right, we are in Everett. Excuse me, Everett at the Liebherr, whatever that is. We just delivered some heavy equipment there. So let's look at the freight market. We are in fact in Everett. And I want to do a short run. So here's a run from the same place we are right now to Aberdeen. Click on that. Boom. Let's set this as our GPS destination. All right, before we get go on to the next thing, let me just mention that with the Route Advisor mod, this used to take the Route Advisor used to take up this lower right corner. Well, no more. Now we've got most of that information right along this bottom strip, and I can see that we're going to need to take a break soon, and also we need fuel. The GPS map is right here, and if we need to look at things like how much time we have left, now that pops up at the top of the screen. We got 2 hours left on our clock, so we need to get some rest. Now I wanted to double check this load and make sure that we're not going to have a conflict with timing. It has to be there Saturday at noon. Well, right now it's early Friday evening. We're fine. So we're going to fire up the truck. I knew that. So yes, we do have to go check in. Okay, there's the load we're after. Let's take that job. And we're going to find that trailer over to the left, somewhere. Looks like it's inside. This is it here. I don't remember that being what it looked like. No, that's not it. This is it. Right there. Alright, let's get pulled up in front of it. Now, if you don't recall, I do have advanced trailer coupling enabled, so we actually have to back up right to it and keep it centered. Bang! Dead on. Didn't mean to go bang. Okay, we are hooked. Need to get far enough away from the corner of that building so we don't drag the trailer on the building. Yeah, I tried to get rid of that yawning noise, but I couldn't do it without completely eliminating that whole feature, meaning you no longer have to worry about your clock. Well, that's not realistic. You need to worry about your clock. So, right down the road a bit, there is a place to park, truck parking. So we're going there. Now, I want to do one thing before we make this turn. Notice the mirrors on the left and right? I actually did adjust the seats so that my field of view is wider than normal. I think I'll narrow that down to about 90 because it feels unnatural when I'm looking. The other thing I did was change how I'm sitting. I do need to keep that over. And how I'm looking. Well, it's one or the other. The goal here is to see both mirrors. Also, I need to adjust that mirror on the right. That mirror, the left mirror is fine. Let's adjust the one on the right. That's fine. All right. Let's get on down the road. We're not going very far. We're just going down to the corner. There's some truck parking there, so we're gonna pull in. Oops. Sorry, I was looking at my GPS information. We're just gonna back into one of those spots. Well, I'm gonna have to get head tracking to do this properly. Someday I will get that, I'm sure. Not quite centered between the lines. We can fix it. We can do it. Can do it, Charlie Brown. Let's not bang into that tractor like a swift driver. That's not fair to all the good swift drivers. Alright. Notice how we're lined up more or less. Our mirror with his mirror. It's not an absolute, you don't have to do that. I like to do that. Okay. We'll turn off the engine. Oh, it's raining. Alright, we're up at, it's 4 a.m. Now the rain, I'm pretty sure that sound pack that we have is impacting the rain sounds. That's pretty cool. Alright, let's get going. Well, the going is good. We have 157 minutes. Okay, too early to talk. I haven't had coffee. 157 miles, a little over 3 hours of driving. You know, the developers should really add the flashing yellow arrows for the turn lanes, because there's so many of those across the country now. Shouldn't have to wait for a green arrow. Up to a right turn. Johnny Law, he didn't give us a ticket for turning right on a red. But I did come to a complete stop, so. I'll show you a couple other things I learned. I can zoom in. Should have wrote down who that was that told me about that. Shame on me. Got another neat trick to show you later too. Yep, we're gonna drive. Let's see, yeah, back through Seattle. Ruh-roh. Ooh, look at them lights. Lickety blink. Alright, looking at the frame rate monitor, we're getting close to 80. That's not bad. Not bad at all. Come on now, get in your lane. If I didn't say so before, I do have, I think I said it in the last video, I got the engine brake to work. Thanks to recommendations from other folks. So it's nice to have a working engine brake. I was thinking for some reason that the truck didn't even have it. Because there are some trucks that don't, and this is a day cab. Speed up a bit. Jeez, why am I not able to stay between the lines? I need to move over. Jeez, something's up with my steering. Whoa. Go on. So that's a little bit of a flaw with the AI. Of course, I guess it's better than having them pull right out in front of you sometimes. Right, we're about 60,000 pounds. That's not bad. have an Aberdeen story, but it's not a trucking story about Aberdeen. Long before I got into trucking, and I was actually not even living in Washington State at the time. I was living in near Minneapolis, and I came home for a vacation. I came back here for a vacation, and wanted to go deep sea fishing out on the Pacific. Well, I found make sure I get in the right lane here. No, we just need to be over. We're not turning. I think we have to get down to Olympia first. Anyway, so I wanted to go fishing out on the Pacific. I don't know, it wasn't a 3-hour cruise. In fact, it was weather-wise, it was a nice sunny day. A little windy though. And there was the problem. Went out on this boat out of Aberdeen, and I couldn't tell you how big this thing was, but it was, it had a couple of levels on it, and held about a dozen people or so comfortably. Anyway, so we went out. Had to get up early in the morning, get on the boat, a box lunch. That was part of the deal. And we went out, I don't know how long, a few miles, I suppose. Well, with the wind picking up the waves, it was rolling like this. Whoops, I can't do this and steer at the same time. Anyway, first time in my life, and I was probably, I guess it was somewhere in my 30s, late 30s. Early 40s. Yeah, late 30s. And here we are exiting. First time in my life that I recall, probably the only time in my life that I recall, ever getting motion sick. I don't normally have that problem, but with those rolling waves, man, I was getting green in the gills. I didn't throw up or anything. I wound up going below and sitting they had like a little area down there to eat. And I wound up sitting down there and not looking at the water until the feeling went away, and it took a while because the boat's still doing this. But the only time, and that was right out of Aberdeen. So we've got 32 miles to go. I didn't make a note of where in Aberdeen. I'm going to have to adjust this dead zone again because drifting, and then I turn the wheel and nothing happens, and then all of a sudden a lot happens. I guess the rain has stopped. Just that steering once we get there. Look at that, see? It's not me, it's the equipment. Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I do think it's a dead zone though. Up on Aberdeen. Speed limit 30, my goodness. That's not me. That's got to be a train. Is it a train or is it this bridge? Well, now those cars are going across. Did they? Yeah. Welcome to Aberdeen, gateway to the Olympics. If you've never been to the Olympic Peninsula, you should go. It's the only rainforest in the United States. Yeah, Washington State has some serious, diverse geography. So you've got the Pacific Ocean beaches on the west, which we're close to. The Olympic Peninsula, which is just north of us. The Olympic Mountains and the rainforest. And then there's the Cascade Mountain Ranges on the other side of the Puget Sound. And on the other side of the Cascades, you've got desert. Mostly. A lot of it's irrigated and stuff now. So I guess we're turning right here. Port Angeles is another place we need to go to at some point soon. This is a one-way street, so we'll be in this lane. And I believe we are turning left here. Speaking of being in the left lane, I've been giving a little thought to, well, because I've been watching videos of European Truck Simulator 2. And seeing vehicles drive on the left-hand side of the road as opposed to the right-hand side, like the US and continental Europe, that's going to be an interesting challenge. I don't think I've ever done that in any capacity. Alright, we are coming up, I think it's right there, up there on the right. Yep. I think we're hitting the, well, it's not a curb, I think it's just grass. So, where do you want it? You want it backed in pretty much straight ahead almost. Right over there by that green tank. Alrighty, let's see what we got going on. Yeah, we are hung up. So, I guess now's as good a time as any to show you the next thing. I can get out and walk now, sort of. It's not actual walking. Oh, look at that. We are hung up for sure. All right. Can't just drag across that. We're going to have to fix this. Back in the cab. Yeah, I did not swing wide enough for this. One thing you got to worry about is having some car run up on the right about this time because they're impatient. I don't think that's so much of a problem in ATS, but it is definitely a problem in real life. While I'm thinking about it, let me check. Did I damage the trailer? Nope. Oh, we got some damage to the tractor, though. Let's not run into that. All right, how are we situated? We're looking good. Oh, we gotta pull up again. Hello. We're getting a little bit close to that building. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull up again. Just a little bit closer to this trailer. Let it slide on into position. Come on, get over there. Let's get out and look. I think we're up against this. It's a little awkward to do this. Yeah, we're pretty darn close. Alright, but how close are... Oops. How close are we to this garage? No, we're fine. Yeah, we're gonna probably bang into the side of that concrete, or into the concrete with the side of this. Yeah, I'm really making this harder than it needs to be. So let's fix it. Have to do a complete new setup. But I will. Sometimes you just gotta. As embarrassing as it is, sometimes you just gotta start over. That's better. This is the way it should have been to begin with. Get it cranked over. And slide it in. Straighten it out a bit. Back it in like I didn't make any of those mistakes a moment ago. Okay, pretty good money. I think we just, no, we just short of leveling up. All right, let's look at the job market again. See if we can do another short one. That's not short. That's Aberdeen to Newport, Oregon. Well, I guess it's not too long in the scheme of things. Now that's, oh yeah, so that's out of Aberdeen. Let's go to Newport. We haven't been that route yet. That's close, just right around the corner. By the way, I want to thank all of the folks in the comments that clued me in on how to figure out how to set up the developer's console and edit the config file to be able to get out and walk around. That's neat. A couple of you sent me links to videos that walked through how to do that. You know who you are, because I forgot to write your name down. All right, here we go. Oops, I got these on still. Turning right into rustic. There's a car trying to climb up our butt. All right. There, that's just going to be a nice little trailer going to Newport. And it is off to our right over there. Oh. Yeah. We need just to get lined up and back up to it, that's it. Wasn't paying that much attention. We are going to need to stop for fuel. I should have scoped that out. Also, well, let me get hooked up first. Need to check the clock, see what kind of driving time we have available. Should have plenty. I also didn't look to see when this load has to be in. Not doing a very good job as a trucker. Well, in most situations, dispatch handles some of that, so not the fueling stuff, but well, sometimes that too. If you're a company driver, they tell you where to go get fuel along your route. They have all these optimizers and stuff sorted out. Anyway, but they also dispatch also monitors your clock, because they can do that electronically. Right, we are connected. So let's see, looking at our little bed icon, we got lots of time. Fuel, on the other hand, we don't have so much. So we need to find fuel. How far do we have to go? We've got, let's say, 4.5 hours of driving. Where can we get fuel along the way? We can get fuel in Astoria. Right there. Now. Well, this is an interesting thing. Oh, there's like this rest area there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to look first. Yep, nowhere else to go. When we get to this is the bridge that goes over the Columbia River, and then it circles down. When we get here, I'm going to pull into this rest area. I think I'm going to drop the trailer and bobtail over to this gas station. How about that? Not really an approved thing to do, but in a pinch. Gas stations are really tight. Don't really want to go in there with a trailer if I don't have to. I think we can turn the flashers off. Stay to the left side of this exit. We'll wait for these guys. Down the road, back out of town. Except we're going to leave a different way. We're going to leave to the south. Jeez, what the speed limit's 15. What's up with that? Sure, why don't you try to pull out in front of me? Could have got away with it too. Oh, that's a dead end. We gotta turn left here. I'd like to say that never happens in real life, but that would be a lie. What a one-way street. This town is full of one-way streets. We must be turning right up here because it says this way to Astoria. Alright, we'll assume this guy's stopping. No, he's not stopping. I gotta get out. Oh, we got a green light. So that's a problem, not being able to see at a certain angle. That's crazy. Uh-oh. The bridge is up. Guess we're waiting on a boat or something. So another commenter asked me a question about, you know, when you stop, should you just use your foot brake, or is it okay to use set the parking brakes? In other words, release all the air out of the trailer. You can do either in the game. It doesn't matter that much. But in a situation like this where you're going to be stopped for an indeterminate amount of time, an unknown amount of time, just set the parking brake. Take your foot off the brake and just chill. Reach across into that other seat, grab a snack, whatever. Normally you don't set the parking brakes at a red light. You can. It's just not a normal thing. And there's actually a little bit of a drawback in real life trucks. Right, here we go. Maybe I should have hit the gas a little bit. Now, in a situation like this, you know, you set the parking brake and it releases both the yellow and the red valve, which is both the tractor and the trailer brake system, parking brake. But in real life, if that had been me pulling up like that in a real truck, I would have set only the tractor brake, not the trailer brake. Unless I was on a really steep incline or decline. Now, the reason for that is that the tractor brake in most cases is enough to hold the rig in position. That's all you need. We got right lane ends. That's gonna affect us. We gotta wait for this Yahoo to get out of the way. Alright. Now there's another reason, or well, there's a slightly more complicated reason I don't normally do that. And that is because it takes time for the air system in the tractor to charge up the air system in the trailer. I mean, it could take a couple of seconds. That's not a great length of time, of course. But if you're stuck behind a truck and the light's green, you want to go. And even the truck driver wants to go. So it does take time to charge up the trailer's air system. Because you got all that distance back there, all those hoses, they take time, you know, hundreds of milliseconds to fill up. There's also a tank, a reservoir tank back there for air. You got to fill that up too. So normally, like in real life, if you're going to set the brake, or set the parking brake at a situation like we just had, or at some other type of thing, you just set the tractor brake. But that's not modeled properly in this game. It turns, or it releases both systems. And it doesn't model the fact that it takes a little while for it to charge up. You can hear the sound. Next time I get a chance, I'll do it again. In fact, we got a stop sign coming up. Let's see if we can model this. Woo! Slow down, slow down. Okay, just set the brakes. Got a truck coming anyway. Now, I'm going to push the button now. You hear that? Whatever that high-pitched noise is? That's the air system charging back up. The thing is, in the game, it happens pretty much immediately. In real life, not only does it take time to charge up the system in the trailer, but it has to get up to enough pressure to release the spring brakes on the trailer. That's a whole nother discussion. But the spring brakes is what holds the trailer when nothing is connected to it. The tractor has spring brakes also. The air pressure, when you push in the valves, pay attention, the air pressure from when you push in the valves forces air into the system and pushes against that spring brake system to release the brakes on the tractor and or the trailer, whichever you're talking about. That's why it's a safety feature. If you lose air in your truck system, then the brakes are gonna re-engage and you're gonna stop. I forgot to adjust that dead zone. Now there's an air compressor mounted on the engine, driven by a belt or a chain. Not sure, it depends on the truck. Or even a direct drive. Anyway, there's an air compressor mounted on the engine, and it is constantly charging, compressing air. And it goes into the reservoir tanks on the tractor and the trailer. And so the truck has always got air in the system to do what you got to do. And then once your air pressure builds up to usually 125 psi, pounds per square inch, might be different in European vehicles. Once it reaches that point, there's a relief valve that releases some air pressure. If you're ever around, and I don't know if it models it here in the trucks, I didn't even notice. But anytime you're around a big truck like this, and the engine's running, at some point you'll hear a big release of air. And you may even see, if it's not moving, and if it's sitting like in a gravel lot or a dirt lot, you'll see a big puff of smoke or gravel pop up wherever that release is. And that's just the safety valve system releasing pressure. And that's kind of a basic primer for explaining how the truck's air system works. Not there yet. Just coming up on a story. It can't be. Must be something else. Nope. That's the bridge. I've never driven across this in a big old truck like this, but I have driven across that bridge. Once, I think, on a family vacation. A different family vacation than the one I talked about in my Aberdeen story. crossing into Oregon. Big old bridge. Big old river. This is the mouth of the Columbia River. It flows out into the Pacific Ocean right over there. Right, we have discovered Astoria. And a new viewpoint. Oops. I gotta deal with this dead zone. Sure wouldn't want to have an accident up here on this bridge. Alright, here's the rest area. Pretty sure we can just drive right on in. But we have to wait for a green light. Yep, we gotta swing wide. Okay, come on. We'll come back to that. Yay, they have truck parking. Want to make sure I wasn't going to bang his trailer. That probably was not an appropriate thing to say. But that doesn't mean the same thing to me as it does to other people today. Alright, we're on the line. That's close enough. We'll just back up even with him. Alright. We are decoupling. Now we can pull away. Oops. Before we do that, let's fix that dead zone. Here. Controls. Steering sensitivity, that should be fine. It's the dead zone I'm having an issue with. Put it all the way back down. Yeah, that's pretty tight. Alright, we're going to leave our trailer for a minute. We're going to go get some fuel and we'll come right back. I don't typically do this, or didn't typically do this when I was out on the road, because I would go to truck stops. Trucks can't fuel at regular car gas stations in most cases. First of all, cars don't have the, or gas stations, as we traditionally call them, don't have the correct fuel. Frequently don't have the right fuel for trucks. Well, generally they don't, period. They just don't. Some gas stations have diesel, but we can't use that because of taxation issues. We actually have to go to a truck stop, and there you have to do a bunch of stuff and to track your fuel usage. Now you could, in a pinch, if you needed to, and then you just have to report that. There's actually the fuel, the diesel fuel is dyed, and it's like greenish. Or if you're off-road, it's like reddish. I think that's what they are. So it's not the same diesel fuel necessarily that you could put in your diesel car. Alright, it's coming up here on the left. But anyway, in the game, you know, you can go to any gas station and get diesel. I didn't see the little icon here. Yikes. I mean, it does say fuel. Is it around the corner? Feels so confined. Oh, it's on the other side. There we go. I just came in on the wrong side. So in this case, it's the truck side. All right, fueling. What are we getting here? 100 gallon, 109 gallons. Well, you can hear that sound effect. Getting back in, putting the seatbelt on. Cool. All right, let's pull forward. And we're full of fuel. Now, I said that commercial motor vehicles, generally speaking, don't go to regular gas stations to get diesel fuel. Private vehicles generally don't go to the truck stops. I mean, sometimes they do. I mean, they have, most truck stops now, they have regular gas stations out front for cars. And sometimes they sell diesel out there for private vehicles. It's taxed differently. At least in the US. I don't know how it works in Europe. That'll be interesting to see. Well, maybe it's not modeled accurately. There's our trailer. Right over there. See, Johnny Law stopped and turned right on a red. He shouldn't be giving me tickets either. Alright, let's check out this viewpoint, because I think it's going to be a cool one. We have to roll up to it. Stop. Turn off the engine. Oh. And hit that key. The Astoria Megler Bridge. Yep. That is a big old bridge. Why does it look like that tugboat's going catawampus? Yeah, look that up in your dictionary. Might be in there, I don't know. Looks like the tide is out. Maybe. What a view. So that's Washington over there on the other side of the river. Okay, enough sightseeing. Back to work. And off we go. You know, something I didn't do was to check the weight. This load. Ah, I thought it was heavy. 42,537 pounds. That's heavy. Got a traffic circle coming up. I'm not a fan of those in trucks. So what we're gonna do is split the lane, take out both of them. Bridge. Well, I hope we're not going to have to wait for this one, too. Yep. We've got about 110 miles to go. Oh, speed limit's only 45. Now it's 55. 85. Comes the rain again. Lights. Who would have thunk that it would rain in Washington and Oregon? Wow, it's foggy. Somebody was telling me a story about running into fog here. Slow down. Yeah, a guy I worked with here locally. He used to be in the moving business, like, you know, beacons and or whatever the other companies are, United Van Lines, whatever. Anyway, that's what he used to do. He told me he was delivering to someone, you know, their household goods, delivering out here somewhere along this highway. He said he ran into fog so bad he couldn't see 20 yards. Of course, I think it was kind of early in the morning, too. Wow, this is foggy. Truck payment. You know what? Rain, as much as I appreciate the green of western Washington and Oregon, I got so sick of the rain all the time growing up as a kid in the Seattle area. I hated it. You know, even then I understood you needed the rain to get things to grow. But when you want to go out and play, rain sucks. All right, 65 miles to go. Slow down for these curves. Well, I can see that with the suspension dialed down, I can see the truck kind of lean a little bit. Really put a lot of physics modeling into this game. Physics. It is windy here today. You probably can't hear it, but it's windy out. When we make this delivery, we're going to have to find somewhere to park. Call it a day. Be about an hour. Yep, an hour. And do I know what time it is? Oh, 1 o'clock. So it'll be a little after 2 before we get there. Figure about almost 2:30 by the time we get done. Parking, delivering. 10 miles. Must be going up a hill. Really struggling. Making speed. Newport. They put up that sign saying there's a traffic light ahead. Oh, it must be red. Yikes. We have discovered Newport. But there's a rest area off to the right. If there's not a better choice, I think I'll come back to that. Left lane. Ooh, there's a repair shop up ahead. Might do a couple of things. Ooh, hello. We can see this town. We're a little, yeah, we're ahead of that line, I think. Yeah, that's what we know. Green light, man, it's hard to see with this rain. Down this road a little bit. Take a right. Up ahead. Jeez. At the bottom of a hill. Whoa. That's a little tough on the brakes. We don't drag a trailer across that end of that car. Yep, not a fan of driving down roads like this. Got all these cars sticking their tail ends out into the road. It's not actually a turn here. The road just goes this way. We are turning up here. Are we not? Yeah, and this is a dead end. Didn't see if we had a stop sign for us. I don't think so. There's our check-in. Where do you need it? Really? Okay. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Let's stop for a second. Show you that. All right, we have got to back into there, facing the opposite direction from what we are now. This is one of them challenging parking deals. Well, we can do it. So if I'm not mistaken, this little stretch of road here, it just goes around these buildings that are under construction. Pretty sure. We could have turned there, but I'd rather go all the way around, because I want to make sure that I'm able to straighten out the tractor and trailer without any doubt. Plus I just want a little extra room to maneuver. I'll put it that way. Make an adjustment here. There we go. Now this will be a challenge. So I guess I didn't see that before. Theoretically, nah. If I'd have come way over here and then turned in, but we would have just drugged the trailer. Well, let me change this view. We would have drugged the trailer. If we didn't hit this light pole, we'd be dragging it across these other ones on the ground, thereby damaging property. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up, pull forward, and do a standard setup, and then back in. So let's do that. I'll get over here, sort of tight to the left. Ooh, that dump truck is in the way. That's inconvenient. Just like sticking your head out in the rain. I'm going to pull up a little bit more. I'm not too sure about this, because I think that dump truck is in the way. Yeah. I'm going to have to do this a little differently than a standard setup. We're not backing into like what's referred to as an alley dog. Okay. Nope. Need to get over more. So I've got to straighten it out. Yep. Now I'm going to back around this corner. Actually pulled up more than I wanted to be. Yep, we're clear. got plenty of room on our right side, so we're good. Question is, are we clear that pile of debris back there? I cannot quite see it. No, we are not clear with that. See that white pile of stuff? We're very close to backing straight into it. So, I need to cut this a little bit more at an angle. Whoa. Now we're well clear of it. Do that again. See, now you can see we're clear, or we're not at immediate danger of hitting that. So we keep doing that. Yeah, we just need to straighten out now. And we should be able to back right on in. Easy peasy. Oh, let's not knock over the porta potty. Never know who might be in there. Yeah, I might have to pull up one more time. We'll see. I mean, we're going to be in the box. See, it's doubly difficult with this rain. Makes it hard to see. But there it is. Yep. Got it. Let's see, we are in neutral. Okay, hit the T. Excellent. Now we've moved up to level 7. And we're going to add something else. Long distance, I think. Okay. Where are we in the world? We've explored 4.9% of the map. Here is, let's see, we're off on this side thing. We got to backtrack quite a ways to get to that rest area. Let's see how much time we have. 3 hours. Yeah, we need to stop, find a place to park. Fuel, we're fine. I also wanted to get... We got a little damage, 4% damage on the tractor. Back to the map. Oh, you know what? Let's look at the freight market first and see which direction we might be going. I don't want to double. We can go from here to Eugene. back to Astoria. Could go to Eugene. That pays pretty good money. You know, $32 a mile. Ooh, this one pays $45 a mile. It's a double though. We need to go a little bit north to get to it. Let's look at that map again. Probably Georgia Pacific right here. You know what? I'm just going to go here and do that. And then we'll get some rest, and then we'll sort it out. Come on. There is no stop sign for traffic coming up the hill. That's good. I mean, you know, it's good that I didn't blow through a stop sign. That's what I'm referring to. Oh, I guess I better slow down now. Yaquina Bay. Okay. Interesting name. It's probably Native American or some form of Native American. Man, not yield, but stop. I believe this repair shop we're going to is on the left. Yeah, where that truck is coming out of. Whoa, guy scared the hell out of me. You know, something else the game doesn't model very well. When you come to one of these repair shops, it doesn't make you wait 5 hours. You get in, or 5 days in order to get in and get your stuff fixed. Okay, we had some wear and tear on our tires, got that done. Now, let's go in here and main mirrors. Can we add? Oh, yeah. Yes, we're doing that. Anything else we want to do? Nah. Let's have us some better mirrors. Oh, yeah. Now let's tweak them a little bit. Adjust mirrors. Small left. And take it down a little bit. Yeah, out a little bit. I want to be able to see part of the cab and the surrounding area. I won't go down anymore. Okay, let's look at the small right one. And we'll go out a little bit, down a little bit. There. See, that allows, I want to be able to see my drive tires. You're not gonna, in this type of a mirror, trying to look at what the trailer's doing it's not very helpful for that. But if you're trying to back up to something and you're looking to make sure you're clear, this is what you want. You know what else I should have done? Not gonna worry about it. I was thinking I should get some nose mirrors up on the front of the hood, but we're good. All right, back to the map. And I wanted to go out here. It's 4 miles, 14 minutes. Okay. Oh, I turned off the engine? That's strange of me to have done that. And I wish I wrote down the name of the person who reminded me that I need to get those kind of mirrors. Ooh, a copper. Good thing I pulled into the turn lane. Instead of all the way into this lane. Otherwise, I'd be getting a citation and having a very uncomfortable discussion. No, I don't want to run up on his butt either. Coming up on our turn. I guess it's at this traffic light. Historic Lighthouse or something? Because I believe there's a viewpoint out there. Just looking at my OBS, that's what I use to record all this on my other screen. It's recording longer than I anticipated. Again, I gotta see if I can find some way to chop a bunch of that time off. This rest area over here. Or hold on. How much time do we have left on our clock? 2 hours 43 minutes. Let's go up to the viewpoint. We won't be able to do it after our rest break because it will be dark. Wow, that is pretty. Let's check it out. Yakina Head Lighthouse. Wow. I know I drove this road once on the family vacation. I don't remember whether or not we stopped here. I love scenery like this. Now there's a beach you can walk along for a while. Okay. Let's head back to the rest area. We'll call it a day. So it's 3:20 p.m. Just need to find somewhere, pull up along the curb, I suppose. Okay, we're gonna call it. Oh yeah. We're gonna wrap up this video. Thanks for riding along. Oh, I had an announcement. So, SCS Software, the company that developed European Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator, reached out to me. Apparently, you guys have been watching this so much, it's got their attention. So they have reached out to me and are offering are allowing me to offer a couple of licenses for base game, European Truck Simulator 2 or American Truck Simulator. I got to work on the promotion and how I'm going to, the mechanics of how I'm going to do this giveaway. I will update you as soon as I nail that down, and we will have a drawing. We'll give away, what do you call it, the code for one copy of European Truck Simulator 2 and another one for American Truck Simulator. So stay tuned. I'll keep you updated. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. You got this far. All right. Thanks a lot. And we'll do this again real soon.